Marakina yus Marun Soror Hawaii.
Aqui no extension ainda. Não está muito bem,
ada konflik kami juga buat CDF.
I'm following the president.
Yes, GPS is now in the past.
Minister?
And it was your birthday yesterday, so Minister, you still have the best smile. Your Excellency, welcome. Minister Lamula will receive you.
Welcome, Your Excellency, to South Africa. Am I done? Someone Kupala Zamba. Lampa lipstick. Lipstick or Zamba. Zamba great. Saya kan nampak saya kan. Layout city yang layout city.
How are you? Yeah.
Marak. Oh, kau salwa. Kenali. Sedang kau fakir di rumah. Stage.
I think so. Yeah, I see you. No, what do you mean?
Fine. Welcome to South Africa.
Tutorial gini.
Welcome, Your Excellency.
Welcome, Your Excellency. Welcome, step right. Thank you. Step right. Thank you. Welcome, Your Excellency. Thank you. Thank you so much. My pleasure, my pleasure. How far is? Oh, yes, and Welcome. Hope you still know you look big, you look better this way. Okay. Thank you. All the best with the celebration. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Minister, Opa, this way. Perfect. Thank you, Excellency. Just like this way. Perfect. That's why I said the channel. I wanna continue to self-transfer. Initially, one of the proof on the programs. That's why I put this in the laptop. Fix a laptop is the laptop.
Malaysia. Yebo.
Coming for a different not go too far. Hello, my people.
Your Excellency.
Who's next? And forward. Come here, sir. الناس تولد الفيروس كونجيت روتي لا بتروي كينيا روتي كينيا روزنا بختمو ترين مارو كراب انجر فيكس كلنا عرفت يا
Yeah. Yes. That's Canada. Yes, Canada.
Shiny wax. Shiny wax.
Canada.
Yeah. That should become more easy.
Russia. That's Russia. Yes, it's Russia.
But at least we focus. Alman, why do you have it so? So let's say so good to see you. Thanks for looking forward
Island. Yes, island. Yes. Island. Yeah, that one.
Your Excellency.
Vietnam.
Like this. Prime Minister. So good to see you again. Don't play.
Jimmy. Yeah. Oh, this is not
Mr. President, Excellencies, this way little bit, Perfect. Minister, this way just a bit, Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Excellencies.
this year.
Under the king.
Yes, EU, yes. Let me find out. It's EU, yeah, European Union. Yeah, bro. Yes, it's European Union.
很等路的照片，出相关的知识，或者那太比较乱了。
Yeah, yeah. Mr. President. Yes. The flower.
South African Union No, Lula is president now. He is the chairperson. No. Check. No. AU is in now. He's in now. He's been checking now. Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Then this is China. Yeah, it's international.
No, you can't take a photo. I'm sending that. Oh, it's just No. I just need to get the first one out.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Mr. President, yeah.
Sierra Leone.
Thank you.
Welcome.
How are you?
European. That's European. turn?
Yes.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes. I see you kind of see it too.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Algeria, yes, yes.
Hello. Morning.
Korea.
Hello. Nice to meet you again. Welcome.
So beautiful seeing you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's Nigeria. It's Nigeria. Yeah, yeah.
Asli kimya kumbu
Yeah, but just them, just them.
Can I apply for my
Yes, you see. Yes, you see.
Enjoy.
try and make sure, because it seems like we are done.
Mo will be coming, but I don't believe he will receive you guys. Yes, yes. So moving on. No, Arvai.
Oh, yeah, someone.
Lucas,
Photography. If I'm on my own, but if I'm going to, I just take it and
No share no breja.
Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, the heads of state are joining us. If everybody could please take your seats. Excellences, messieurs, dames, les chefs d'État et de gouvernement nous rejoignent. S'il vous plaît, prenez vos sièges. Excelencias, señores y señores, los presidentes y jefes de gobierno están entrando en la sala. Por favor, siéntense. Gracias.
Ready?
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start. Please take your seats. With regards to the interpretation services, kindly touch the screen in front of you and scroll until you find your language of choice. Vos Excellences, Messieurs, Dames, nous allons commencer. Je vous prie de vous asseoir. S'il vous plaît, touchez l'écran pour ce qui est des services d'interprétation et le rouleau devrait vous apporter à la langue qu'il vous convient. Excelencias, señores y señoras, vamos a comenzar. Por favor, siéntense. Si quieren utilizar el sistema de interpretación, por favor, el screen y el rolo va a dirigirle a la lengua que necesitan. Gracias. Please do take your seats. Je vous prie de vous asseoir. Por favor, si pueden sentarse. Gracias.
Bao giờ cũng nghe chúng ta thống nhất nhau, rất là cảm ơn tất cả các vị đại biểu đã có cái trao đổi, có cái hợp tác trên cơ sở đó chúng ta cùng làm cùng bàn cùng đoàn kết thống nhất trong cái bối cảnh như này. Rất là cảm ơn Kính tiếng Anh vào, ta nghe được không?
Good morning, Your Excellency, Heads of State and Government, members and invited guests. heads of regional economic communities, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres, all guests who are gathered here. It is an honor and a privilege to welcome you as South Africa to this very first G20 Leaders Summit to be held on African soil. We gather here at the cradle of humanity in Africa to affirm our common humanity. We gather here to affirm the value of partnership and cooperation to finding common solutions to shared problems. Shortly before the dawn of democracy in South Africa, the father of our democracy, Nelson Mandela said, "The time has come for South Africa to take up its rightful and responsible place in the community of nations." Today, as we open this G20 Leaders Summit, South Africa is deeply aware of the profound responsibility that membership of the community of nations places upon us. We also understand the responsibility of being entrusted with the presidency of the G20. In the execution of its task as president of the G20, South Africa has, throughout the past year, through its stewardship of some 130 meetings in various parts of South Africa, in other countries on the African continent, and beyond our shores, including at the United Nations, we have sought to undertake this task with care, with dignity, and with diligence. We have sought at all times to preserve the integrity and the stature of the G20, a premier forum of international economic cooperation. From its initial focus on broad macroeconomic issues, the G20 is now engaged on matters such as trade, sustainable development, health, education, science and technology, agriculture, energy, the environment, climate change, and many others. It has therefore broadened its scope as the challenges of the peoples of the world requires that they should be addressed. As the G20 countries, we understand that progress on each and all of these issues is a necessary condition for strong, sustainable, balanced and inclusive growth. In pursuit of and in conformity with the founding mission of the G20, South Africa adopted the theme Solidarity, Equality and Sustainability for its presidency in 2025. Through solidarity, we can create an inclusive future that advances the interests of people around the world who are at the greatest risk of being left behind. This is important in an interconnected world where the challenge faced by one nation affects all other nations. By promoting equality, we strive to ensure fair treatment and equal opportunities for the individuals and nations of the world. The disparities in wealth and development within and between nations is not only unjust and unsustainable, it is also one of the greatest impediments to sustainable development. It is essential that we break down divisions of economic status, of gender, of race, and geography. Sustainability involves meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. As a founding member of the G20, South Africa has sought to ensure that the development priorities of the Global South and the African continent find expression firmly and permanently on the agenda of the G20. This is important not only for the people of Africa and the Global South. It is vital for global stability and security, alleviating resource pressures, managing population movements, and reducing the risk of conflict. We seek stability because it attracts investment, it improves planning and reduces the risk of global economic shocks. And we prioritize inclusive and vibrant markets because they are able to drive innovation and efficiency. Thriving economies lift people out of poverty. They encourage greater investment and trade, and they generate the revenue needed to invest in public goods. The threats facing humanity today, from escalating geopolitical tensions, global warming, pandemics, energy and food insecurity, to inequality, unemployment, extreme poverty, and armed conflict, jeopardize our collective future. It is therefore essential that we make greater and faster progress towards the achievement of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. We welcome the Seville Commitment adopted in June this year, which sets forth a renewed global framework for financing for development. We must use this framework to catalyze development investments at scale in developing economic countries. We must continue the reform of the international financial architecture, ensuring that institutions are strengthened and are more inclusive and are equipped to meet the challenges both of the present and the future. At the beginning of our G20 presidency, we identified 4 high-level priorities. Firstly, we focus on action to strengthen disaster resilience and response. While climate-induced natural disasters affect countries around the world, they have a particularly devastating impact on countries that cannot afford the costs of recovery and rebuilding. We have agreed that it is essential for the global community, international financial institutions, development banks and the private sector to scale up post-disaster construction. Secondly, we agreed that we must take action to ensure debt sustainability for low-income countries. The G20 needs to renew its efforts to advance debt sustainability while at the same time laying emphasis on those countries in the Global South that are suffering from debt repayments. Thirdly, we said we should mobilize finance for a just energy transition, increasing the quality and quantity of climate finance flows to developing economic countries. Fourthly, we emphasized the importance of harnessing critical minerals for inclusive growth and sustainable development through the beneficiation of the minerals at the place of extraction. In addition to these four priorities, we have prioritized issues of inclusive economic growth, industrialization, inequality, unemployment, and security and artificial intelligence. Much of the work of the past year will be presented and considered at this meeting. We commend in particular the G20 at 20 review, which provides a detailed account of the path that this organization has traversed as the G20. It describes both our achievements and our challenges and makes proposals on how we can organize ourselves to be more focused on our core mandate. We welcome the work of the G20 Africa Expert Panel, which was led by South Africa's former Minister of Finance, Mr. Trevor Manuel. The panel argues that African efforts to accelerate productive investment require new global partnerships and strong multilateral cooperation. It calls on the G20 to support this effort by building a global policy framework that unlocks long-term finance and lower costs and investment at scale. We are also grateful for the work of the G20 Extraordinary Committee of Independent Experts on Global Inequality that was led by Professor Joseph Stiglitz, a Nobel laureate. The recommendations of the Extraordinary Committee provide a solid platform on which to launch a renewed global effort to tackle inequality. As this is the first G20 Leaders Summit to be held in Africa, it carries the hopes and must reflect the aspirations of the people of this continent and of the world. We should not allow anything to diminish the value, the stature and the impact of the first African G20 presidency. This G20 Leader Summit has a responsibility not to allow the integrity and the credibility of the G20 to be weakened. In fact, from this summit, we should have a sense that the G20 has been strengthened. We thank all delegations that have worked together with us in good faith to produce a worthy G20 outcome document for this historic leaders meeting. The G20 underscores the value of the relevance of multilateralism. It recognizes that the challenges that we face can only be resolved through cooperation, collaboration, and partnership. The adoption of the declaration from the summit sends an important signal to the world that multilateralism can and does deliver. It sends a message of hope and solidarity across the world. It tells the world that as the leaders of the G20, we will keep fast to our solemn pledge to leave no person, no community, and no country behind. With those words, I therefore declare the G20 Leaders Summit open. And thank you. Your Excellencies, please allow me to take you through day one of the program. Session 1 will focus on inclusive and sustainable economic growth. This session will be followed by presentations of the recommendations of the reports of the Africa Expert Panel and the Extraordinary Committee of Independent Experts on Global Inequality. We will then have a working lunch, and this will be followed by a family photo. And I thank you for your attention and look forward to a fruitful discussion. Now, in discussions with a number of delegations here, there has been overwhelming consensus and agreement that one of the other tasks we should undertake right at the beginning is to execute the task that we have come here for principally, which is by overwhelming consensus to adopt our declaration. Now, I should precede this by remembering what a Roman philosopher called Pliny, the elder, once said. He said to have said, ex Africa semper aliquid novi, meaning out of Africa there is always something new. So something new always does come out of Africa. So with that, we would like therefore okay. I'm told that the cameras are still on, they should be off. I don't know why that is so. With that, we would like therefore, with a consensus that has emerged through the work that has been done over the whole year and 130 meetings that have been held where each sector has been able to reach agreement. Would like therefore to put the proposed declaration as the G20 South African Summit Leaders Declaration, to put it forward for your adoption. Do I have the support that we should go ahead and
الوطني لجمهورية كوريا. سلام سلاح. حرس جاهز للتفتيش سيدي.
authorities are aware of this and they expect that the protests will go off peacefully. But Griselda Lewis is there. She's on this story for us. Let's see how things are progressing and how big this crowd is growing. Griselda?
Well, indeed, Leanne, Operation Dudula is expected to protest on the corner of Rifle Range as well as Nasrec roads. And basically, the organization says while it welcomes the responsibility that's been bestowed on South Africa to host the G20, and this marks a historic moment for South Africa as the first African country to host leaders under this global forum. Operation Dudula says despite that global prestige that it holds, it says the event will not change the material conditions of South Africans who face the challenge of access to basic services due to the influx of illegal immigrants and corruption. So Operation Dudula says it's in that context that when the G20 concludes, the agenda of putting South Africans first must remain South Africa's top priority. It also says that that international recognition means nothing, if South Africans continue to struggle, and that South Africa's global leadership must basically start with the national responsibility. So that's what we expect the message to be this morning from Operation Dudula. But I know that Operation Dudula is concerned about the area which they've been allocated to protest. As I indicated when I did speak to part of the team from Operation Dudula, they did say that the area they've been allocated on the corner of Rifle Range and Nasrec roads is too far from the area in Nasrec where the actual event is taking place. They were concerned that where they were allocated, where they were placed essentially, is not where they would want to make the statement. So you would understand, with all eyes being on South Africa, different groups, as we saw yesterday, protests against gender-based violence. Operation Dudula today has their own message to send as the G20 summit gets underway. They're basically saying that the area where they've been designated, they've been given permission to protest, is a bit far from the area where dignitaries will be passing from. In fact, from where you can see behind me, this is where police have closed off. So the media itself would need to find a different area to move through in order to get to that particular protest. That's what we're expecting the concern to be. This area here behind me, like many other areas, have been closed off, of course, to allow the flow of traffic and also to allow certain areas that have been designated for dignitaries to go past and attend this particular summit. Even certain areas have been closed off to the media. So we're expecting that protest to get underway this morning, but of major concern for them, as we understand, is the fact that they'll be protesting a little bit too far from the area where they say they'll be able to get their message across.
All right, thanks very much, Griselda. So thanks, keeping an eye on what's happening outside. We're keeping an eye on what's happening inside. And what we can tell you is we saw just a moment ago the Deputy President of South Africa arriving, and that was quite a moment there as he was welcomed by the Chief of Staff, and also arriving now, we've got, Fabricius, absolutely. He's arriving now on the red carpet there. So how it works, in fact, is that you're going to see a lot of the international organizations and regional economic communities arriving now. So from the World Health Organization, that's what is happening at the moment now. And we're seeing different dignitaries being welcomed. So we're going to now keep a very close eye on this, Sophie. And I've got your eyes as well firmly attached onto these screens. Our Deputy President is the one who's welcoming everybody as they do walk in through that carpet right now.
I think the President will be receiving heads of state and government. The GP is receiving those international guests and also other important guests, and they represent different organizations as it relates to global issues. You can see that the representative of one of the agencies of the European Union arriving, and therefore you'll see different people who are not necessarily your leaders, but representing different organizations. I think the World Trade Organization will be included and many others.
Yeah, indeed. So we will start seeing all of this taking place right now on your screens. We'll capture all of this live. Now remember, these images are beaming around the globe right now, and we would obviously see our president arriving shortly as well, and that's where the deputy president will welcome President Cyril Ramaphosa, who will then go into the heads of state. So
you can see the IMF, the arrival of the IMF head there, as we indicated earlier on, that the G20 will have to grapple with the transformation of the financial institutions, and that is why you see the IMF head arriving there, and I think the World Bank will also follow soon.
Yeah, indeed. That, of course, is IMF Kristalina Georgieva, who is the IMF Managing Director, and very, very much so G20 focused when it comes to the economy and many issues around the IMF. So you can see now that this is very, very much so high-level people arriving now. This is the moment, and this is really the moment that we have been waiting for as we see these arrivals taking place right now. So we'll continue to monitor and see who is next. Fast, those cars are piling up, and one by one people are coming out and entering onto the red carpet.
I think what is important with the IMF is the whole issue of inequality, Doctor, in terms of how you deal with it. As it relates to that Stiglitz report, Professor. Yes.
Indeed, and Professor Stiglitz's report, the inequality report that really dealt not only with international inequality, so inequality between states, but also the growing inequality that we're seeing within states, both developed and developing, and that made a number of recommendations of reform and policy interventions that should be made in order to reverse the huge inequality growth that we have seen in the last 5 years. So everything from sort of pre-distributive changes around the distribution of asset ownership, taxing wealth in particular, but then also using regulatory systems in order to reduce the amount of wealth that is kept by the richest within countries and in the globe, but then also another set that is more redistributive. So progressive taxation policies, which is something that has been on the agenda of the G20 for a number of years now, as well as a focus on public services like healthcare, like education, which is really, really important as public services that help to redistribute income within states.
All right, I think it really confirms the report of the former finance minister, Trevor Manuel, on Africa. He also emphasized similar issues in terms of how you address the challenges we are facing of inequality, poverty, and unemployment. And the president